feel like your momentum is stalling with your progress, then listen up. You need to know that that is a completely normal feeling, and it happens to the best of us, whether you've been unwell, you've been on holiday, you've just had life has been really busy, you've been stuck at work, etc. So it's completely normal to feel like that, but there are a couple of reasons why that can happen. And part of the battle, and what can be really powerful, is recognizing when that might be happening to you, so that you can then get in front of stalling and spiraling even further, and be able to recognize when you might need to change strategy and change the way you're approaching, so that then you can get yourself back on track. So imagine you've just been on a 2-week holiday and you've been hitting the buffet really hard, and it's been an all-inclusive, and you've been drinking, you've been going to bed later, etc. That can cause us to suddenly feel like, oh God, everything is ruined. And the first reason why we can feel like that, and the thing that can cause us to stall our progress, is an all or nothing thinking. Now, at times we're all guilty of this, but it's when we think, oh, I've had a really big lunch, oh, I'll have a takeaway for dinner, or oh, I missed the workout earlier in the week, so now the whole week is ruined. That all or nothing thinking can really, really cause us to inhibit our progress. Now, high achieving women, we go at 100% of like everything in our lives, and giving it 100% and giving it everything works in some scenarios. But with our health, that actually can be causing us to not be getting the progress that we need. And that doesn't mean that we're failing, not at all. What it means is we're too much one way or the other. And actually what we need to be focusing on is a sweet spot in the middle, and how we can keep that progress going. So if you get into that position where you feel like you're thinking you've ruined everything, then just take a minute to kind of reset and reevaluate and understand where you actually are and what you can do about it moving forward. The next thing that can cause us to stall is sort of a restart spiral. We end up in this loop. The next thing that can cause us to stall in our progress is a restart spiral. Whether we've got all the intention in the world to make a change, restart, we're going to get back on it. And then there's a barrier. And there's another barrier. And then there's another barrier. For example, you sign up to a race, but then you need to buy trainers. You want to start tracking your calories, so you need to download another app. Or you want to get into the gym, but you need the gym membership. There is always something that's stopping you starting. And we can just end up in this loop where all of a sudden a month has gone by and we still haven't restarted. So just be aware of that. If you end up in that spiral, just thinking about what are those barriers and how can we just try and remove them. Do you need a gym membership, or can you just work it out at home? Do you really need the new trainers just to get started, or should you just get started and then buy the new trainers? Just thinking about what it is you can do just to get started. And then the other thing that can stall us is we are really, really bad at telling lies to ourselves. And we are all so guilty of this. And it's that if we have to restart, or we failed, so we haven't hit our goals because of X, Y, and Z, we've been on this 2-week holiday, oh, I'm starting back at zero. Or I'm going to be starting all over again. I'm going to have to relearn everything in the gym. I don't remember how to deadlift. I can't. All these reasons. But muscle memory is real. We all still remember how to ride a bike. You could not drive a car for months and you'd get in the car and you'd know how to drive it. Our health is exactly the same. Just because you've had 2 weeks, a month, even 6 months off, you would still know what to do when you got in there. Yes, you might be a few steps behind. You definitely won't be able to lift as heavy. You might be slower with your running. It might take you a little bit of time to get back used to how to track your calories, but it's still all in there. You still remember how to do it. But we tell ourselves this lie that I'm going back to step one. I'm back to zero. And really we're not. And we need to give ourselves and I give our bodies credit for remembering everything that we've learned before. So with that in mind, if we can recognize those reasons why it's happening, what we can actually do is come up with a bit of a strategy on how to overcome them. So the first strategy is basically the do minimum approach. And with that, what I mean is doing something well, but doing the minimum of that. So picking something and just doing it well. And that could be as simple as, I am just going to get my steps in. Start with your steps, then you can focus on water, then you can focus on nutrition, then you can focus on workouts. If we start doing something but we start doing it well, we can then start layering and building on top of that. And all of a sudden, that one little thing that you were doing well is suddenly 5 things that you've been doing really well because you've been focusing on them individually. If we say we're going to focus on all 5 things to begin with, it can be chaotic, and a lot of the time we just won't do any of them very well. We might do them all, we might do some better than others, but picking one and really, really focusing on it means we can give it all of our attention and then slowly give our brain the capacity to then pick up other things. So that's one way of doing it. So if you come back from your holiday, have an opportunity just to kind of reset, what's the one thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it well, and committing to doing it, and then bringing the next thing in, and then the next thing. The other way you can do this, and this works for people who like things a little bit more structured, might want things a little bit more contained, is pick a time frame. For example, 28 days. 28 days can work because it's long enough for our bodies to adjust. It's long enough for us to start to see a change, but it's not long enough that it's a scary overcommitment time frame. 4 weeks we can lock in. So thinking about it and boxing it in, and then really planning and going after everything in that time. So if you were doing 4 workouts a week before your holiday, okay, lock in, plan them in. Plan them in like you would a dentist appointment, like you would another meeting. Plan them in and really commit yourself to doing them, and accept that they won't be at the same, they might not be at the same performance level as you had before, but you're still getting them done. Committing to water, picking a bedtime. Bedtime alarms are as important as a wake-up alarm, okay? So picking when you're going to go to sleep, but really, really focusing and dedicating yourself for a fixed time period can just be a leapfrog and give us all that kick that we need just to reset, restart, and then go forward from there. It's much easier to build upon habits that we had previously. And it isn't about doing things perfectly, it's about doing things consistently. So can you consistently hit 4 workouts a week for 4 weeks? They might not be the perfect workouts, you might not do everything in them, but if you get them in, that's consistency. Can we get a consistent bedtime? Can we consistently be getting 2-3 litres of water every day? Over that time frame, we can then give ourselves something to build upon further. So there are 2 things there. Thinking about the first approach, minimum, what can I do and what can I do well? And sticking to it, one thing at a time, and then building on top of each other. The other approach is to give yourself a time frame. My example there was 28 days. You can go longer, you could go shorter, but just picking a time frame and sticking to it. Whichever approach you want to go with, the important thing is whether it's happening now or whether you feel like this in the future, is just sticking to it and starting today. We're not starting tomorrow, we're not starting on Monday, we're not starting on the first of the month, the next first of the month. We are starting today, we're picking our strategy and we're going to run with it. That's really, really important. But as I said at the beginning, it's also really important to understand the reasons why we might be stalling, so that next time we feel like we might be coming off track, we can recognize it and we can bring ourselves back in again. So reasons why we stall, it is normal, it happens to all of us, but the recognition is there. It can be that all or nothing thinking, need to shake that out of us sometimes. Starting that spiral, that restart spiral, what are the barriers and how can we overcome them? Let's just bash them down, they don't need to be there. And then the third thing is that lie that we tell ourselves that we're restarting from zero. So we're not, we are just maybe starting just a little bit further back, but we are never going back to zero if it's something that we've done before. So I hope that was helpful, and I look forward to you putting some of these approaches into place, and I will see you all on a call very soon. Thanks.